Hello, everyone. I am Laethas, and welcome back to another episode of the Indefinite Hiatus podcast off of Indefinite Hiatus. And I am welcomed by Apollo Gray.
Hey guys, been a long time, but hopefully we'll be around long enough to not go on hiatus for another 6 months.
Hopefully. And we also have a newcomer here, Simply G.
Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. I'm glad to be here. I hope I have something to contribute to the discussion today.
Well, I'm sure you will. If it was just me and Apollo talking back and forth, it might not go anywhere. So, nice to have a third head to bounce things off of. But yeah, we're not joined by anyone else today, just us three. And we are just going to be talking about sort of the year 2017 in manga specifically, because if we went into everything else, 2017's been a pretty crazy year. So, yeah, we don't want to get involved in that. So we're just going to be talking about manga, probably anime as well. But, Apollo, you want to start us off?
Sure. So, first topic is going to be about what we personally picked up this year and what we've been excited about and all that good stuff. I'm going to let G start since she is the guest.
Oh, well, I have
full-time member. You never know.
Oh, thank you. Let's hope I don't screw it up too badly this time. But there was a lot of really good series that started this year. Some that I was very, very excited for, some that surprised me. My two biggest surprises from this year would probably be Land of the Lustrous and Delicious in Dungeon, in just how much I enjoyed reading them, the first volume and the subsequent volumes, how much they grew on me over time. Because I knew that I would enjoy things like Golden Kamui and Sweet Blue Flowers and In This Corner of the World, so it wasn't a surprise when I loved them so much. But those titles those two really stood out for me this year in being sort of lesser known favorites of mine for the debuts. Ongoing stuff is, I know what to expect. So, but otherwise, yeah, it's been a really solid year for manga releases for me personally.
I just want to talk about, we have, this is the fourth quarter of 2017, and are having, four pretty big box sets coming out. Two, the most notable, are the Akira hardcover box set and the Pandora Hearts box set, and then this month, December, they might already be out by the time I'm saying this, but we've got the Ghost in the Shell hardcover box set and the Silent Voice box set.
Yep.
So
I think the Ghost in the Shell came out on the 16th.
I think it's the 19th. So.
Oh, well, dyslexia.
Yeah, but I like box sets, so I hope we see more of those in the future. But those are pretty exciting. As for things that I noted very specifically was the lots of good high-quality box sets, which is always nice. I haven't picked any of them up except for the hint, spoiler for the manga hall, the Ghost in the Shell one.
But, you should definitely get the Akira one, hint.
I know. It's money. It's expensive.
Both, I can attest that both Akira and the Pandora Hearts box sets are beautiful, extremely heavy, and well worth the money. So I might be a bit biased, but they are beautiful releases, especially Pandora Hearts. That one was done really well. And yeah, if people were complaining about Akira being heavy, they have no idea when you have to lift 12 omnibuses and a huge box with it.
Oh, I can imagine. That thing
I desperately want the Pandora box set, but I'm not about to drop $200 on a series I've never read. So
yeah, it's limited edition too, so that kind of makes things annoying.
Yep.
I don't like limited editions. I can understand a limited edition, where it lasts a decent amount of time, but when it's if you don't order it, pre-order, you're probably not gonna get it. Then I'm like, that's kind of mean. Please don't do that.
Mm-hmm. That's
I'm
how the
fairly certain. I don't know how stock is doing, but the thing is, Pandora Hearts has been out, the actual entirety of the series has been out for a good couple of years now. So for a lot of people, it's a collector's item rather than maybe introducing people to the series.
Yeah, sort of like the Spice and Wolf Anniversary Collector's Edition thing.
something else I also own. I'm too big a fan of too many things. But yeah, it's not really meant for casual newcomers, I think. It's more so for people who know the series and love the series and are willing to spend that $200 for it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just kind of disappointing for me because it's like a lot of the appeal of the box set is like, hey, I've never read this series before, and I can get the entire thing for so much cheaper than if I were to just buy the series volume by volume. So, a little disappointing there, but you know, I can at least see where they're coming from. coming from.
Yeah. It's sort of interesting how many publishers are branching out into box sets now, because that wasn't always the case. Viz really only had their box sets, and mainly those are just repackaging to, again, introduce new fans to things or make it easier for people to collect. And not everybody has the pull within the market like Viz to be able to afford that. So I think that this sort of stepping into the collector's box set releases is an interesting trend, and we'll see how it works for these publishers currently, because there are some series that I think would be easier collected in those box sets, and I think people would try them if they had that option. But yeah, not everything can be a Naruto or a Bakuman or a Vampire Knight and really be able to afford that long term.
Yeah, and I'm also kind of interested to see if either Seven Seas or Vertical, especially Vertical, considering it's a sister company to Kodansha, if they'll start doing any kind of box sets or at the very least, like some kind of collector's collection thing.
Seven Seas, they're doing some hardcover, you know, like classic collections coming
Yeah.
out next year, so I'm excited for those. And if they're like, did you see the Record of Lodoss War novel? Like the quality of that volume, because that looks
I did.
insane.
Yes, it looks so beautiful. Seven Seas has been doing a really good job this year as well, just in releases and in licenses. I think they've really stepped up their game in the past 12 months.
Probably riding off of that my lesbian experience with Loneliness Money that brought in a ton of people.
Well, that plus they've always had money from like, oh god, what's that series called?
Monster Musume.
Monster Musume, Dance in the Vampire Bun, titles like that, which a lot of people buy and there's a lot of interest around. It means that they sort of always have money, I would expect. And I'm just glad that there are a lot more niche titles and a lot more variety is poking its head out from Seven Seas, because it's nice having someone actually filling the niche that Vertical has sort of since dropped, unfortunately.
I'm still hopeful for more Kyoko Okazaki.
Oh, aren't we all? Aren't we all? Yeah, her works are wonderful, and it's such a shame that some titles don't necessarily get the popular or the awareness that they deserve because they're under a certain imprint or that people just don't know about them. Helter Skelter is one that I've always tried to encourage people to read, but it's sort of a tough sell because, again, I don't know, people complain about art despite that being a style, not a lack of skill, but you know.
Speaking of people that complain about art, I just picked up another series by Jiro Taniguchi called Azu in Winter, and it is amazing. Amazing. And people, I doubt anybody's going to pick it up. Just because,
I doubt it as well.
Like,
you know, my problem is it's flipped, right? Or was
no.
it? It's not flipped?
No. It is.
It is?
Azu in Winter's flipped. But, well, it's not flipped. It's rearranged so it's read left to right rather than right to left.
Was that Fanfare's doing or Jiro Taniguchi's will that caused
I think it's both. I think I think it started with Taniguchi, and then it's sort of become just the legacy for his works, because all of his stuff in English is like that.
I think the Ice Wanderer is right to left, because I'm interested in the Ice Wanderer, and I've seen it, and it looks like it's right to left.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have Ice Wanderer, but I do have Distant Neighborhood and Azu in Winter, and those... Yeah, both of those are the other way around, the Western reading.
Yeah, and all of my Taniguchi works are all left to right, so... Okay.
I think we went off on a little bit of a tangent there.
We always do. That's
what happens. But do you guys want to talk about some series that are newly just, started coming out that you decided
actually,
to pick up, volume 1s, that kind of thing?
I do. I actually have a couple of extra ones that I just now started thinking about. Number 1 is Astra Lost in Space.
We have a differing opinion on that one.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I haven't finished the volume, but what I've read of it, I don't enjoy it. But Astra Lost in Space is by the same person that did Ski Dance. And I love Ski Dance. It is one of my favorite animes. And I was expecting something of the same order, and I think that's why I'm not exactly impressed with it. But as far as art and storytelling, it's pretty decent. I would give it a go, especially if you're into Ski Dance. It's not the same kind of story, so don't go into it expecting a comedy about school kids, but it's definitely interesting. The other one is Children of the Sea, I think it's called, or Children of the Whales. That one was interesting.
Did I lose you guys, or is Apollo gone?
I can hear. I think it's just Apollo. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say stuff about Astra Lost in Space, but if Apollo's not here, then it's like pointless, right?
My internet keeps crashing.
Yay, Verizon.
I know, it's horrible. Okay. What was the last thing you guys heard?
You were talking about Children of the Whales. You just started talking about it.
Okay, so Children of the Whales is really, really interesting because it's kind of like a grittier art style that I haven't seen in a while in shonen, and I'm really excited about it.
I think it's a shoujo, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
What? And it has a SIG edition too, which is even better.
Yeah.
So that's impressive.
Does it have the French flaps? I like French flaps for whatever reason.
No, I don't think it does. Aww. It doesn't.
That makes me sad, but no, not a big
deal. But it's really interesting. I don't want to talk about it too much because I feel like if I do, I'll give too much away.
Okay,
I'll just say check it out.
Yeah, it's a good series. I read the first volume too, so just.
But Apollo, how far into Astra Lost in Space did you get? Because I read the first chapter, which is the jump chapters. Like the first chapter is always like 50 pages long, and then they get shorter. I didn't really enjoy the first chapter, and then by the end, I was thinking that, okay, this is a series I can definitely see going somewhere, because he definitely planned things out in advance, like the way actions sort of take place, and things that would normally be sort of like Deus Ex Machina are not, because of things that are said or things that are in the background. And so it actually isn't a Deus Ex Machina because it had already been sort of foretold, so to speak, if that makes any sense. But after finishing the volume, it's definitely a series I think you should look out for, because
I'll finish the volume then.
Has potential.
I got 2 chapters into it and put it down, but I'll reread it.
Yeah, not sure how it's gonna go, because it seems like it might do like a Lord of the Flies type thing, or a whodunit, maybe. Really depends on where he decides to go with it, but if it's done right, I can definitely see it being a very good series. So I'm hoping that it continues where it left off, sort of in the final couple chapters that I read.
Well, if it does well, hopefully, this is a high doubtful, but hopefully we get Ski Dance.
Yeah, it's very highly doubtful, considering that's like a 30-something odd
Look,
volume
don't
series.
shit on my parade right now, okay?
Hey, no, I like Skit Dance as much as the next person, but
Look, if
I'm
I can't have
realistic.
Beelzebub, I want Skeet Dance.
I mean, you are already collecting like the 90 million volume Case Closed, so
Okay,
yeah.
look, so Case Closed has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, okay?
That's true, but like you already have one gigantic series.
No, I have several. I have Naruto, which is 72. I have Bleach, which is 74. I have, yeah, we're not even going to get into it.
Yeah, series are too long, but
they're beautiful.
the glorious shelf space.
I don't have much shelf space left.
Skip Beat is getting long.
Oh, yeah. Skip Beat
Doesn't
next
it already have
volume
40?
is 40. No,
Yeah.
the next one in English is 40. I think in Japan it has like 45 or 46 already. I'm like, oh god.
Oh, so they're keeping us back, those sluts.
Well, I mean, you can complain about that with Skip Beat, but at least it's only a couple volumes. Bloody Kaze
has been over
Hikaru
for 2 years.
Kaze Hikaru is 20 volumes behind, and the volumes come out once a year. Like, that's crazy.
And the volumes are like going out of print too.
When Tagami-Bachi was coming out, it was one volume every 13 months, and it had been over for like 5 years. So
that's like Dark Horse.
I don't want to hear it.
But you know, we're not here to be mean to Dark Horse. You know, they deserve a lot of it.
I'm always here to be mean to Dark Horse. Don't tell me what to do.
I'm going to murder my internet company.
Don't we all? Don't we all do that? I'm pretty sure that's unanimous. We just all hate our ISP.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. Berserk Volume 38 came out this year. Oh my god.
Let's not talk about Berserk. We all know my feelings about Berserk.
Oh, do you not like Berserk a whole lot?
Oh, I fucking hate it.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah. I hate it.
I guess we'll stay away from that one. But
I know G's not a big fan of it either.
No, you don't like it?
Yeah, I haven't really given it a try. I've read the first 4 volumes. Wasn't really something I wanted to keep picking up. I've seen the first 5 episodes of the 90s anime, and I do have the films to see as well. But like it's there. I appreciate what it's achieved, but it's not something that like is like I must have. For me personally, I know a lot of people really love the series, and I understand why, but just not really my thing. I've read similar series that have done similar things as well, so it's not like totally unique to me either. So it has a different draw, I think, to other people than it does to myself.
Yeah, I can see that. It doesn't feel like a series when I read it that I'm like, everyone is gonna love this. Like some series that I've read where I'm like, everyone was gonna love this.
But Laethas, so what about you? Me and her have talked about series that just came out. What about you?
Well, I recently picked up Complex Age, which just finished this year, and I was very pleasantly surprised with that series. It was very, very good. I was not expecting it to be very good. Before I picked it up, I'd read the one-shot online, which I thought was amazing. I think you should check out. And then there's the first 2 chapters that are scanlated, and I was like kind of on them. And then there was a Kodansha sale on Right Stuff, and I was like, you know what? This series seems interesting. The MAL score is a little suspect, but I'm going to give it a go. And I am very happy that I did so, because the first 2 chapters, after having read the whole series, or after having just read like the first 2 volumes, sort of makes sense. And it's nice that they include the one-shot in the first volume at the end of it. And I would recommend you read that before starting the series as opposed to where it is in the volume itself. So, you know, just because it's like a prequel, kind of. Not really. But it does set up a lot of the ideas that the series is going to play with. And so I think it's good background knowledge to have. It's kind of like how if you're, not sure if I want to mention this right now, because recent events. But the Rurouni Kenshin Suiokuhen OVA. I don't think you need to have read Rurouni Kenshin. You just need to know about Rurouni Kenshin, sort of what it's involved to really appreciate this the OVA for what it is, even though, you know, it came out afterwards. So it's similar to that. You know, you want to read the one shot to have background into the series. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out Complex Age. Very, very good. Very curious as to why it has a low score. Maybe I'm crazy, and other people can tell me, you know, why they think it deserves the score that it does. But so far, I've yet to hear anything negative about the series, or well, anything significantly negative about the series. But yeah, that's one series. I talked forever on that. Too long. My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness also came out this year, which was very big. Have either of you checked that series out?
Unfortunately, not.
Course. I have, of course. I'm really looking forward to the sequel next year when we get it. Yeah, fantastic volume. Again, a really good release from Seven Seas this year. Looking forward to more. Hard to read sometimes, but definitely worth it, I think, is probably...
Yeah,
I think something that a lot of people would agree with. Sorry, go ahead.
I would agree with that, you know. Yeah, I think it's just it's an important series for everyone to read. You know, I'm planning like a video to put out. Maybe it'll get done when I want it to get done, maybe it won't, but like just 5 series that I think you should check out from 2017, just sort of like an end of the year type thing. So that'll definitely be on there.
Speaking of end of year videos, I just released mine. Go watch it.
Yeah, I did. I left a comment.
Yeah, I haven't checked my comments yet, but thank you for watching. Actually, no, I think I actually did because I think I liked your comment.
Yeah, you gave it a heart.
Yeah. I went through it and hearted them all, but I don't think I've read them yet. So let's transition into the next topic.
Wait, I want to talk about one more thing first.
Sure.
Battle Angel Alita.
Oh my god, is it out yet?
Yeah, it's been out.
Since when?
Yeah.
Like several weeks.
Well, see, I work and sleep. That's it. So. But is it gorgeous?
It is glorious. It's amazing.
How many volumes is it going to be?
5 2-in-1 hardcovers, I think.
Oh my god.
And
what's the price on them? $20?
$30. Well, they're giant. They're like bigger than Nijigahara Holograph. Yeah, they're big, and they have like photocopy paper. Big.
Like as far as tallness, or
it's taller and wider.
Oh my god!
With
I don't know if
pages and their photocopy paper. So like
I don't know if that'll fit on my shelf.
Yeah, I had to rearrange my shelves to make it fit. That's when you
build a new shelf.
Okay, first of all, no. Second of all, I can't even afford to get a new shelf because of what I bought myself for Christmas, which will be in my haul. You guys will see that. It's something that me and Laethas talked about.
Yeah, it sounds really big.
What?
It sounds like a big haul. Like you got a lot of stuff.
Oh, it's not that big. It's just big priced items.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, something to look forward to then.
Yeah.
Because Christmas is so close.
Sorry, that's like 8 days away now.
Yep.
It's the...
Well, G's gonna be a day ahead. So.
18th here. Yeah. So it's 7 days. It's a week away from Christmas, and
I have to work on Christmas. Like Did I tell you guys about that?
Did you get paid double?
No. I get paid overtime if it's overtime. If not, oh well.
Oh.
Yeah, my job. I love my job, but they don't pay us overtime or double time.
Off on tangent manga.
You're the one that started it.
I'm
Don't start with me.
I do. I like start and then I'm like,
then you forget what we're talking about and just keep on going. All right, so let's start with our next topic, and that would be our channels. Again, I'm going to let G start with this one, but basically, how do you feel your channel has done from the 1st of January until today?
Oh, God, I need to sort of remember what my channel was like at the beginning of the year. I think it's been going really well because this November, December last year is when I really dedicated myself to making a change in how I collect and why I was collecting. I made that video sort of explaining my reasons why, and it seems that a lot of people were very supportive of that change. I'm very happy. It is actually, so yeah, it's been over a year since I changed my channel name to Simply G, which has also been something that's been very well accepted. Thank you guys so much. But yeah, it's because of that, this year has been a huge change, both with how my videos are. I mean, not really, because they're still way too long and I talk way too much in them. But as for what I'm actually buying and showing off and the reasoning behind that, I think has shifted a lot over this past year. I've done a couple different type of videos, although I'm so bad at follow through. So I do have other ones coming up, but it's just I've been busy. I can't get to everything, unfortunately. So yes, for me, it's been a really good year. I think both with the collection and with the channel, I'm over 1,600 subscribers now, which is amazing. That's a lot. Like, I think it's a good 300 maybe growth. I don't remember what it was at the beginning of the year. Maybe just over. I think it was just over 1,000 because people kept annoying me about live stream, which I never got around to doing. So yeah, I think it's like a good 300 to 500 people maybe that have subscribed to me over this year, which is huge. Again, thank you guys so much. I never expected that when I started this. But yeah, so it's been a good year for me, just sort of overall, and for the channel, and I hope that it continues to grow over the next year, although I don't know really what I'm going to do if it gets too big.
I don't think a channel can get too big.
PewDiePie.
Well, we'll see. I don't know how big a channel like mine can get when I only put out 2 videos a month. So yeah.
How about you, Laethas?
Well, since January 1st, I've experienced infinite % growth because I had 0 subscribers and no channel. So, you know, that's pretty good growth rate, I would say. But yeah, started in May, or maybe it was end of April, early May, sometime in then. Videos were cringe. Videos are still somewhat cringe, but less cringe. And
you have the tendency to wave your volumes at people.
Yeah, I try not to do that now after you mentioned that. Was it just that one video, or was it?
It's been a couple of them, but that one was very prominent.
Yeah, I'll try not to do that from now on, because yeah, that does not necessarily look good. And yeah,
see, Laethas, you have to be like me and talk with your hands behind the camera so nobody knows. You just put the volume down, and so that's still, but then you can still emphasize what you're saying with your hands without anyone seeing.
When I have the camera towards me, I put my hands in my lap and just talk with my hands like that, because I talk with my hands too. Our secrets revealed.
I don't know, like, I talk with my hands a lot. Like, I'm not Italian, but, like, I talk with my hands all the time. So I don't know if I can do that. That's, like, part of how I need to communicate. Like, I need my hands. They need to be in frame.
Believe me, I'm talking with my hands right now, so I understand that urge. But, yeah, if it's behind the camera, it'll be fine. Nobody has to know. Exactly. They can't see it.
Unless you have your lighting oddly placed and you can see a shadow.
Well, almost at 500 subscribers though, so grown a lot more.
Wow.
I'm very proud of that too.
Yeah, didn't expect it to happen so quickly, and my videos have more views than I thought they would get on average. So.
Well, I don't know if either of you have noticed, but 2016 was a pretty bad year for the manga community as far as growth, but this year's been pretty amazing.
What was going on in 2016?
Just a lot of drama. The manga community was just really setting its roots. Like it existed before 2016, but it was really growing in 2016.
So was it like just
now the growth
a lot of?
Huh? I mean, Insidious Swede was basically the first, I would probably say.
No, like Insidious Swede, Fatal Ferret, Code Provider, those guys have been around for a long time. And they've always sort of been around.
I don't really count Code Provider.
That doesn't mean he's not part of the community. It doesn't mean he's not part of it, and it doesn't mean his videos haven't been around forever. Like, I was watching his videos when I was in high school, which was a long time ago now.
So how old are you again?
I'm 24, almost 25.
Okay, you're not that old.
But high school was a long time ago for me. But my point is, like, there's always been people who made manga videos, and way back in, like, 2009, 2010, when the sustain the industry movement got started in the anime and manga community, there was a lot of people sort of establishing themselves and started then. Not last year. Yeah, last year was 2016. You saw a similar sort of establishment of new channels, and so there was a lot of different people putting videos out, a lot of people sort of trying to grow, but a lot of them, like with anything, they sort of, after time, those numbers really cut off and people stopped making videos. They moved on, they got different interests, or they just didn't have time. So you saw a lot of that happening as well.
Yeah, and along with that too, it wasn't hectic, but there was a lot of scattered brainness as far as views go, because there were so many new channels popping up every day that people didn't know who to watch or what not to watch and whatnot. So it's kind of settled, and that's why people are getting their views back now.
Yeah.
Which,
not that I ever paid any attention to that, but yeah, it is. It's gotten to a point where there are people sort of consistently putting videos out at a consistent quality level as well, rather than like 20 videos from different people coming out a day. So I think for a lot of viewers, it's easier to figure out who to watch, what to watch, and that sort of thing. Although, yeah, some people are coming back, which is good. There's been a lot of things happening, and I know, like, personal and private life gets in the way a lot of the time. So when you have the free time to commit to videos, even if that's just on the odd occasion, it makes all the difference for channels and growth and sub count and all of that.
Yeah, but finishing off the topic, my channel was pretty small in January. I'm pretty sure, because I started in March of 2016, but I didn't really start uploading regularly until like May. I think my channel was around 200 subs back in January, so I've climbed up about 500 subs, and I'm almost halfway to 800, and I'm really happy about it. But I'm also surprised, considering my channel, my videos are pretty dull in comparison to some others. So I'm thankful to everyone that subs and everyone that watches.
Aww.
Help. No.
I know. But let's go on to the next one. The next topic is our collections. So, G, how do you feel your collection has fared this year? Have you gained more than you've given away / sold, or have you sold more than you've gained?
I think it balances out pretty well actually, because there's quite a few titles that I started this year that only have a couple volumes out. There's of course the ongoing stuff that I keep up to date with, and there's one or two series that older series that I picked up. I'm super excited and happy to finally have all of Natsume Ono's work, for example, and Children of the Sea and things like that. But yeah, I sold a lot this year, and I don't feel like I've lost anything having sold them. I don't regret selling or giving away or donating certain series, because there's some things that I do still keep up to date with via Kindle, which is way easier for me, especially if I'm having to travel or if I'm at work or something and it's really boring. I work in a non-standard job, so it's not like I'm slacking on the job. But yeah, as for the actual collection, I think I did a final count as of earlier this week, and I had something like 700, just over 700 volumes, including like box sets and my BL stuff and Girls Love and stuff. So overall, that's a really good number for me, because before that I had something like probably 750, and it doesn't mean that I just sold 50 things. It means I sold like 200 things, but I've since gotten like a good chunk of that back, unfortunately. So it's sort of seesawing between the two. But as for my current collection and the titles in it, I'm pretty happy. There's nothing really immediately that I feel like would be easy for me to sell down the line. So, and that's sort of always the point I've wanted to get to with the collection. There are certain titles here that I still need to sell, although this last month has been really good for that. People are trying to get their Christmas presents out of the way, I guess. But yeah, it's been really good, just sort of overall. And if it gets, I'm the sort of person that never really wants to have like 1,000 or 1,500 volumes. That's just way too overwhelming for me. But this current size I have right now, I'm pretty happy with. So, yeah.
That's good. Mr. Laethas?
Doing pretty well. I mean, like, picked up Berserk this year, picked up Nana this year, you know, a lot of series that I quite enjoy got picked up this year, mostly because I haven't been collecting for very long, in comparison to most people. But, yeah, you know, it's not to the point where, like, selling things is a necessity. And I generally enjoy most of the series that I have. I can definitely see a few of them. You know, I would be okay with selling them. But as of now, it's not an enormous collection, and so selling is not a high priority for me. So, you know, mostly just growth. Haven't really sold anything, so.
That's good.
It's good.
When I started out the year, I had something close to 400. And now the last time I counted was close to 6. But I've sold almost 100 volumes this year, I believe. 2 box sets, One Piece box sets, and then some stragglers here and there. So I've fallen and climbed again. So I feel like this year's been pretty good for me as far as collecting goes, especially on my niche titles. Not really niche, but like unknown and out of print titles. I've gotten a lot of them. Case Closed being one, and then I have 2 kind of surprises for the next haul, as well as some more Jiro Taniguchi stuff and some shoujo titles that I've been wanting to get into for a long time that I don't think I really saw myself getting into until much later, so I'm just happy for that. And then, like, another one I'm really happy about is Black Cat. I didn't think I would ever get Black Cat, but I did. So I'm really happy about that. So overall, I feel like this year has been a success, and that in and of itself is happiness for me.
That's pretty good.
That is really good.
Yeah, I'm happy about it.
Still don't have Nana though, so.
Well, Nana is both out of print and incomplete.
No,
so
Nana's in print.
Is it?
Yeah, Nana's in print.
What? Okay,
That
I might
series
have to get
will
it.
not go out of print for a long time.
It's one of Shoujo Beat's most popular titles. They wouldn't let it go out of print.
I just wish it would actually. Didn't the Nana author complete it or no?
No, not yet. She's been on hiatus.
It's on hiatus,
2009,
but
so.
it's because of her health. It's not because of like laziness or not wanting to do it.
It's about how like Noragami is now. Spoiler alert for anyone that loves Noragami. I don't know if this is true, so don't take it to heart. But this is just like theories. But because she's been on hiatus for so long, and this is the artist, not the author, we think that it might be cancer.
That it might be cancer?
Yeah, we've heard whisperings, but we don't know if it's true. So I'm not telling anybody to scare them. I'm just saying that she's been on hiatus for almost a year now, and we think it might be cancer.
That's not good.
It's not.
Unfortunately, a lot of mangakas, they don't look after themselves because of the how
that's just a Japan problem in general. Like, there have been a lot
of it is.
And I look at the ages of these people, and they're like not even 60 yet, and I'm like, that's really young for a first world country for people to be dying and at a rate that they are. I'm like, this shouldn't be happening.
It's working to death. I mean, Satoshi Kon was 40 when he died, and that's like crazy considering.
Yeah, which I'm actually. Yeah, they just. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm done with my thought.
I'm actually amazed too, considering Hayao Miyazaki is still alive and he works himself to death.
No, he looks after himself though, health-wise. Like he always makes sure he eats the right food and gets enough sleep. He smokes like a chimney, but it is reflective. He's a very hard worker, but he still looks after himself and he values sort of his own private and personal time rather than just always work all the time, which is the difference, I think.
Yeah, because it's like, and some of them will like be working on something and die while they're working on it, and it's like, take a break, rest, go home.
Yeah.
But no, that's not how it's seen. But it's unfortunate, and hopefully, or at least I think it's changing, or at least starting to change, which is good to see. Hopefully we won't see as many of these things happening that are so unfortunate. But, yeah.
I think people are becoming more aware of the problem, not just within the industry, but outside. And there's a lot of things that are trying to encourage more animators and mangaka and whomever else to actually look after themselves, because a lot of them, they work so hard because they don't have necessarily a livable wage otherwise, which is another problem with the industry. But yeah, it's hard. It's a social and just cultural thing overall as well, so it's not something that will necessarily change overnight.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and move into our final topic before we get to our post-podcast talk.
2018. Hopefully it won't be.
What do you guys...
2017.
Exactly. First of all, what series are you the most excited for next year? And then what are your hopes for both your collection and your channel next year?
I need to think about this one. Give me a sec.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
In general, I'm not really looking forward to any specific manga for next year. Mainly because I haven't really looked at what next year holds. Just a lot of ongoing titles, like a lot of ongoing titles next year. There's a couple of shoujo manga that are coming out next year that I'm kind of interested in. And then I think, if I remember correctly, there was a couple of shonen from Viz that are coming out as well. But otherwise, in general, nothing specific. As far as my collection goes, I'm hoping next year to hit over 1,000 volumes. I'm close enough to it.
Wow.
I have plenty of space. I can store probably close to 4,000 volumes in here. So I'm hoping to hit it, but I'm not going to try to hit it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, yeah, that makes sense.
And then as far as my channel, where I'm at is good. I don't have to grow if I don't need to. If I grow, fine, but if I don't, that's fine too. I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay, I have figured out what my answer is going to be. So, is it okay if I go next, Laethas?
Yeah. Absolutely. I like my time.
Okay. So, one of my most anticipated releases for next year, which isn't necessarily a new series, but it is a re-release, is the Full Metal editions of Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes!
Mainly because not only is it like larger hardcover, but the updated translation is something that has always needed to happen with the series. Viz didn't really do a very good job the first time around. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that is fixed. And the Kanzenban editions are beautiful from the pictures I've seen of the Japanese versions. I'm also looking forward to some other Viz re-releases like 20th Century Boys as well as because I haven't had that title or haven't gotten that title previously. But I'm also looking forward to, again, 7Seas stuff like my solo exchange diary, which is the follow-up to my lesbian experience with loneliness. I'm also looking forward to Claudine, which is one of their classics series that they're releasing, and right up my alley, as probably most people who watch my videos know. I'm also really hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll finally see Rose of Versailles from Udon this year, because they licensed it ages ago and it's been forever. I know there was holdups for some indiscernible reason that they won't share to us common folk. But hopefully,
make their website work, so we might be waiting a long time.
God, I know. Tell me about it. But hopefully that means we'll see Versailles sometime in the upcoming year. As for any particular thing with the collection overall and my channel, I've never aimed to sort of grow the channel in any sustainable way. So however people find me, or if people continue to watch my videos, that is wonderful, but it's not really a goal for me. I just hope that everybody who watches my videos enjoys them despite their length. And as for the collection itself, I'm probably, like I said before, my collection's at a point where I don't feel like there's any titles I would want to get rid of, or want to stop like keeping up to date with. But there are plenty of new titles that I am looking forward to in addition to those three I previously mentioned. So the collection will grow. How much it will grow, I don't know. I know there's quite a few months coming up. I think June or July is has a lot of releases that I'm very interested in. So some months will have more volumes than others, and there are still a couple older series that I still need to get. Like Sunny is my one I'm hoping to get to next.
Taiyo Matsumoto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the first two volumes. It's amazing.
Well, of course, it's Taiyo Matsumoto. Yeah, so I have a couple older series I'm trying to get and find. And fingers crossed, hopefully, maybe we might see a Banana Fish re-release with the upcoming anime. I would just give Viz my entire wallet if that ever happened. If not, I'm going to try and hunt down some of the older, 2004 releases. But yeah. So my collection will grow, but as for a number, I don't know sort of what that will be. And as for the channel, I hope that if it continues to grow, I hope that people just continue to enjoy my videos as they are, because I don't have any specific plans on making it better or worse, whatever the case may be.
I mean, I would hope you didn't have plans to make it worse.
Well, I mean, you can't really go from where it is now to anything worse, considering. So it is only up from here. But yeah, I hope that 2018 is good, sort of in general, and for the collection and manga industry as a whole. So yes.
All right, I guess it's my turn then, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, I'm mostly, a lot of it current ongoing series that I'm just collecting, just continued collecting them. I'm excited for the classic collections that Seven Seas is going to be releasing.
Mm-hmm.
The Full Metal editions, like you said, I was originally going to plan on getting the Full Alchemist box set, but since they announced the Full Metal editions, I'm like, those sound like a much better alternative than the box set, because they're hardcovers, so, excited
I'm
for
just
those.
going to have both.
I was originally excited for the Sailor Moon Eternal editions when Kodansha had them priced at $20 US, and then they moved them up to $28 US, and I was like, Jesus, that's too much, because it's like a 300-page book, so it's only like 1.5 volumes. And
yeah.
It's $28, and I'm like, Kodansha, why? It's not even a hardcover; it's a paperback. So I don't know.
No, it's just it's the Kanzenban, but done way differently than how the Full Metal ones are being done, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're done in a paperback with not 2-in-1s, and it's $28 retail, and I'm like, no thank you, maybe I'll wait. And maybe if someone gets it and they're like, this is the greatest release I've ever seen in my entire life, maybe I'll think about it, but, just based
I feel like that's not going to happen.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I.
Better investment is just probably the 2 box sets that are already available from Kodansha if you're wanting to read Sailor Moon. My sister has them. I don't own Sailor Moon personally, but it's a nice series, and it's a beautiful release for the box set, so that's always a good option.
I just know it's a classic, so it has me interested in there, but, it's not a high priority for me. I'm hoping to see lots and lots of Yuri licenses next year, because that has grown, and I quite like my Yuri. So hopefully that will be happening. I will be a happy, happy man if it does. And hopefully Seven Seas decides to license some of the series I want them to license in their survey, because there are lots of unlicensed works that are really good, and they don't have releases, and they're not overly long either, so I'm hopeful.
You can be as hopeful as you like, but until we get Kingdom, nobody's getting nothing.
I don't know, Kingdom is so long, I don't know what you guys expect from...
But Kingdom is one of the best-selling series in Japan, and everyone here that has read it wants it.
I can appreciate that, but okay, what I was saying before, Rose of Versailles, that's one of the most influential series in Japan, bar none. And it's only 8 volumes long. We only are getting it now. That's...
Well, not even. You do have
exactly.
to... that is licensed by Udon Entertainment, so it's a little bit of a different situation, because they're just bad, typically. They have a lot of licenses that they're just kind of sitting on.
But I can see, maybe Kingdom getting a digital release, but print at this point, with how the industry is, I wouldn't count on it. And I know that probably will make a lot of people upset, but that's just sort of the reality of it. Because some of the most popular and best-selling manga in Japan don't work in America or are unproven markets. So people don't want to take a risk on something like that is already at 40 plus volumes.
Yeah, if anyone's going to take a risk on it, it would be Viz, and Viz Media does not take risks at all.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I started doing my What's for Sale series, and I just found out just how few, like, titles Viz actually releases. Like, not even new titles, just volumes in general. They just don't release very many, and I was surprised by that. Like, because they're known as being a big publisher, but they really don't release a whole lot.
Yeah, I think Seven Seas releases the most, don't they?
No, Yen Press does by a mile.
This month, Yen has something like 35 new new volumes coming out, compared to Viz, who has maybe like 12 to 20. So yeah, the Yen absolutely dominates the market with their releases, both digital and physical. So but people don't think of Yen as like the
big publisher.
The big publisher.
That's a lot of their titles are like they have more niche titles than Viz, because Viz they publish Shonen Jump. Like those are the titles everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yen Press also charges $13 for a standard volume, which is like aggravating.
Which is too much.
And then the Batum volumes are $17, which makes no sense.
I can't complain because your $13 is like my $20, and I'm just happy to get something in English for less than $25, so I can't complain about that sort of thing.
Australian dollars.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering when y'all's economy crashed.
Huh?
2000.
I'm just wondering
when the world crashed.
Yeah, well, we didn't, because we had mining and we were supplying everyone with every resource imaginable. So we sort of skipped the GFC. It sort of hit us, but especially in my state where it is like mining is the big thing, we didn't have that. So, but the Australian dollar has always been weak since we changed from like the gold standard to what the current currency exchanges are now.
Yay,
before that, Australian dollars were stronger than the US dollars, apparently. I was not born then, so I can't attest for this, but what a world we would have lived in, or I would have lived in at least.
There's also that where you can only buy OPEC oil with United States dollars. That also is a thing that exists, so...
That and their housing market is abysmal.
Oh yeah, I mean we missed the GFC, but cost of living, the housing market, everything is just 4,000 times more than anything in the US or like half the world. Where I live is one of the most expensive places in the world to live. So
that's rough.
Yeah, not great. Yeah, it is rough because all the prices for everything went up when we were in not anymore, but prices haven't changed. So yeah, no one can afford anything.
Except manga.
Oh, yeah, exactly. This is why I work so hard, because I have to have my stuff, like my money, to actually pay for bills and everything else. And then a savings as well, that's second, and then manga is like fifth down the list of priorities.
It's not
and yet
necessarily
people complain that I still have
survive, so it's not a high
priority. Exactly.
See, mine always starts with food and then bills. So
the electric company doesn't get my money. Screw them.
Exactly. Taco Bell. Oh God. But I feel like we have addressed the topics at hand, and I'm hoping that everyone, if you're still listening, I'm hoping that by the time this is out, you have had an amazing Christmas, or you're planning to have an amazing Christmas.
Or you're
but
not Christian and you're celebrating some other holiday.
Like exactly. Or you're agnostic and just don't care. But
I hope everyone has a wonderful end of year, because New Year's is sort of
New Year's is pretty universal.
Everyone celebrates that.
It's,
Well, I mean, I have friends
any winter celebration. What? Who doesn't celebrate New Year's? I mean, you don't have to go out and drink and count down the thing, but it's still a thing.
It's
regardless of.
I just get drunk and watch Polar Express every year.
You have to get drunk to watch that movie.
No, but it's funner. Whenever Tom Hanks is saying, "Get on the train."
But that'll do it for this end of year cast. 2018's looking like a pretty good year. Things are looking good. Anime, manga in general is just kind of increasing in popularity.
And hopefully that trend continues.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully I'll get a second season of Princess Principal.
But thank you guys for joining us on this excursion of... Or excursion, I should say.
Hiatus podcast that is finally returned.
Back in...
Except for maybe
we'll be back in 6 years.
Exactly.
So... Yeah, don't keep looking for us, but when you're not looking for us, we'll come back. So, thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.